Hey guys, this is Jay Mills for Chalk Talks. One of the things I learned while I was on Lou Holtz's coaching staff at Notre Dame was that details are important. There was one incident that stood out that highlighted this for me. It seemed that Coach Holtz had asked that the tower that was to film practice to be placed on the 50-yard line. However, when we arrived at practice, the tower was elsewhere and Coach was not pleased. I couldn't help but laugh to myself when I heard him correct the individual who was responsible. "This isn't Canada," he said, whose playing field is 110 yards in length. "In this country, we only have one 50-yard line." I still laugh to this day about my mentor's quick wit, and I'm also very thankful that I wasn't the one who got in trouble that day. There are many reasons why Coach Holtz is regarded as one of the game's greatest coaches, but one key reason is that he paid attention to the details, and he isn't the only one that demands that things be done in a certain way. The Lord expects His servants to closely follow His instructions as well. Take King David, for example. He had very specific directions he was to follow in transporting the Ark of the Covenant. The law of Moses stated that it was to be carried by the Levites, who would use poles that would pass through rings on the Ark's corners to prevent it from being touched. But David chose a different method of transport. Instead of following the Lord's commands, he actually employed the same technique that was used by his enemy, the Philistines. I kid you not. However, during the journey, the oxen stumbled, and when the ark appeared that it was going to tumble, one Israelite man was killed when he touched the ark in an attempt to prevent it from falling. There are 3 coaching points that can be derived from this story, lessons as to why we should pay attention to detail. First, we must realize that sometimes we do not get a second chance. Such was the fate of Uzzah, the man who touched the ark. Second, we should not take lightly the instructions we have been given by those in authority. Our disobedience, even if it is ever so slight, can not only hurt us, our failure can hurt others as well. Finally, if we have erred, we should make it a point to not make the same mistake twice. When the time came for the ark to be moved once again, Scripture records that David certainly learned his lesson, and the Levites carried the ark with the poles on their shoulders, as Moses had commanded in accordance with the word of the Lord. When you've been given an instruction, divine or otherwise, pay attention. As Christ followers, our actions confirm that God is in the details.